All right. Good afternoon, Vikings. Welcome to our virtual athletics lunch hour and a chance to come together in a very unique way during what is sure to be the most unique year any of us will experience in college athletics. I'm Athletic Director Josh Morton. On campus, we're now 3 weeks into classes. It's been a really good start. If you've driven by, you've seen that students, faculty, staff have all embraced wearing masks. We knew we'd experience positive cases and quarantines, and we have, but the work that was put in on campus throughout the summer to get ready for this academic year really is paying off. Our Viking Flex plan, truly a flexible plan. 90% of our classes are being taught in person with the flexibility to go online. You see a few of our student athletes here. They can probably tell you more about it, but we consider this like a 13-week season, basically until Thanksgiving. And so far, we've managed very well. Certainly have had some bumps along the way, but I think we're learning a lot as we go. And I think as Augustana, if you're an Augustana alum, you can be proud of the work that was put in to get us to this point. So I'll give you an athletics update in just a minute, but first, one of the great things that has come out of the last 8 months in our department, we created the new philosophy statement for Augustana Athletics. It's tied to our campus mission statement, and I'm just going to see how technologically sound I am. I'll share my screen with you. Here it is. So there we go. All right. So we put a work group together since January to come up with what we're calling a philosophy statement that ties back to the overall mission statement of our campus. And one step ahead. So here it is. There you go. So just a refresher too, the Augustana mission statement is inspired by Lutheran scholarly tradition and the liberal arts. Augustana provides an education of enduring worth that challenges the intellect, fosters integrity, and integrates faith with learning and service in a diverse world. In support of Augustana University's mission, Augustana Athletics aims to provide a student-athlete-centered experience that is committed to distinction in the classroom, excellence in competition, and faithful service to community. So we are proud to live this philosophy statement every day. You see a few of our student athletes here today, and that's why we're here. The why of what we do is all about our student athletes. So it's nice to put it on paper and to have this as our centering point. The last few days have been a sight for sore eyes. Let me give you a glimpse here. You see, we've started organized team activities on Thursday, which means that we're allowed to have some semblance of practice. Now, for some sports, it means different things for where they're at right now. You see soccer, baseball, softball, and women's basketball on your screen there. Able to get in some sort of work. For some of them, it's 8 hours of work they have with their team. Some it's 15, some it's 20. It just depends on the sport and the season. But it was just nice for us to reach a point where we felt we started a 3-phase process back in June. On June 1st was phase 1, where we slowly opened up our facilities with screening protocols, pre-screening protocols, cleaning and hygiene all in place. And then slowly we've gotten to phase 2, and we're on what our head athletic trainer, Brian Gary, would call phase 2.5 right now. And we're getting toward our third phase of phase 3, which is full contact, normal practice. Some of our practices will be modified based on COVID, but I know speaking to coaches and athletes that just getting out there and being with each other just means a ton. So here's an update too from the NSIC and the NCAA. You've likely paid a lot of attention. We're exploring fall sports competition in the spring semester. So what does that mean? The NSIC came out and said fall championships. We're not going to award championships from the NSIC. NCAA did the same. And so for us, it's saying what can it look like to provide some sort of meaningful competition for our fall sports, which for us is football, soccer, volleyball, and cross country compete for championships in the fall. And so we're exploring what that looks like for the spring semester and continue to figure that out. It's we're not close to having a schedule per se, but we're working with each of our coaches and then conference-wide to figure out what that looks like. Just 2 weeks ago, the NCAA granted a waiver for all fall sports seniors that no matter how many contests they're able to play during this academic year for fall sports, they will not use a year of eligibility, so they can all come back. And we've had a number of our seniors express the desire to come back, and we're happy, at Augustana, we now have more graduate programs to offer them, and we feel like it's the right thing to do to offer them that opportunity to come back. So we'll continue to work through with our fall sports seniors. Winter sports, right now we're scheduled to start after January 1. We also are awaiting word from the NCAA on championships. That decision will be made soon, and that will impact our schedule. We haven't built a schedule, for instance, for basketball yet, because the first domino to fall will be that championships date, whether they change it, move it, cancel it, which we hope they don't. But then we'll determine how we're going to fit in what we hope is a full schedule in a very short amount of time. So that's the first domino to fall. We expect that decision from the NCAA to come by October 1st. And then right now the NCAA has laid out what started as guidelines and recommendations are now mandates as far as testing that you must do for certain sports if you are competing against other sports. So that's where we're at right now. I know there's probably happy to answer questions at the end if you have some on those specific things and what that means for. So we'll get to those at the end of the session. But let's get to our student athletes, shall we? Let me find something here because I want to go back to my screen share because I have a wonderful picture to show of our next speaker, Coach Barkus. Now this picture was taken his first year, which is 14 years ago. So since then he's won 155 games, 6 NCAA tournament appearances, and doesn't look a day older 14 years ago. Now, he and Kylie Partington are in an office, and by Augustana and CDC guidelines are both wearing masks because they are not 6 feet apart. So thank you for modeling great behavior, Coach Barkus. I will say I also have my mask, my soccer mask somewhere, which I appreciate. Yeah, mine says #1 fan, my Augustana soccer. I've got a plethora to choose from, as do most of us. So a pleasure for me to introduce our head women's soccer coach, Brandon Barkus.
Hello, everybody. That photo was when I was young and handsome. I don't know what has happened to me. This mask has actually enhanced my looks. So it's thank goodness for that. So yeah, we're only like probably 2 feet apart. So we're going to separate here in about 10 minutes because of the whole 15-minute, sort of thing. So great. Awesome. Everybody looking great. OJ, Jen, good job. So I'm talking about a little program review. Is that accurate, Josh?
It is.
Okay. Well, so I didn't realize I had so many wins. I feel like I only remember the losses and seldom remember the wins, and it feels like the losses just pile up. And OJ's nodding his head. He can relate. It seems like there's 155 losses, but we've really done I think a tremendous job with student athletes like Kelly, and building a really nice program that I think everybody's pretty proud about. The culture's terrific. We've got 30 returning kids this year. I was reading in the chat from Professor Mullen. The waiver for the return is for all student athletes, not just seniors. So it's really, really positive that a kid that's a freshman or a sophomore can play in spring games and then not have to worry about losing eligibility. So that's really, really positive, I feel like. But, right now, really, we're just, we're lifting weights. We're in cohort groups that all the athletes, the women sign up for, and they lift twice a week. I think that's going to switch now to doing team specific, which will be really, really positive, I feel like. And then we just started training Tuesday. So we were outside. It was great to be outside. The weather's been fantastic. We all love the fall because of the weather. And we got back after it. We did some fitness on Tuesday. We're doing some social distance, technical type skill work. And then we're kind of playing in small-sided sort of, we're still in phase 2 according to BG and Dr. Boyan. So we're not doing real large group, games yet. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling really good about things. We're pretty healthy. All the women have a great attitude. I hear pretty consistently from all of them how great the faculty and staff professors are working with the athletes. And so that's really great. I think there's just a lot of real positive things going on, and kind of how we've been handling the fall. We wear masks. I mean, so training started on Tuesday and we're out there training and everybody's wearing a mask. We run fitness and they kind of do one of these deals so they can run, and then we get back close together and then we put the mask back up and we hand sanitize, before and after. We just try to do what we're supposed to do so that we can keep playing. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. So, yeah. Kylie Partington here. I invited Kelly in. Kelly's kind of a unique student athlete of ours. She has had a couple pretty significant injuries the last couple years. And then going into this year, which is going to be our 5th year, the pandemic hit. So it's kind of a challenging thing for her. So I thought she can come in and kind of share her story a little bit, which I thought would be really cool. She's a athletic training major. So this 5th year is her +1. So she'll graduate Augustana with a master's in athletic training. And she'll talk about why she chose Augustana. And an interesting thing about my sport, really similar to probably to Jen's, Coach Jacobs, is I've already got 10 kids committed for 2021. So in soccer, you get a jump start on recruiting. So I'm working on 2022s, those kids that are, just starting or in their junior year of high school. So when I recruited Kelly, we were just talking, it was 7 years ago. So she's going to reflect on why she chose Augustana 7 years ago. So I'm going to give the floor to Kelly. All right.
All right. So like you said, I'm Kylie Partington. I am a 5th year. Currently in the graduate program for athletic training. I guess I can kind of go off of my story a little bit. I've had a really difficult career, I would say. Kind of starts back my junior year when it kind of got rocky. I broke my kneecap, was out that year, took a red shirt, came back about a year later and dislocated my ankle this past year. First exhibition game, and then had surgery, came back this year, ready to go, feeling really good, and then COVID hit. So it's been quite a journey for me. My gratefulness and gratitude to this program, though, doesn't change. I have gotten so much out of it, and I mean, I give a lot of credit to Barkus, to the team, to the relationships I have formed with, not just within the soccer program, but my professors have been exceptional, and even relationships with admin people. So reflecting back 7 years, why I chose Augie, I guess. To me, I think it, as a junior in high school, it kind of, you kind of have tunnel vision, I would say. You kind of see the things in the moment of what you want, a small school. Obviously I wanted a soccer program. I knew I wanted to play soccer in college, but as I've been here for a while, it's really been about what's going to set me up for success in the future. And as I look back, I knew that Augie was going to give me opportunities to give me that success, not just with soccer, because I've learned that soccer is very temporary, but with academics, with just life, I've learned so many life lessons, through trials and tribulations, and just what comes with the sport. So I'm just very thankful for that. And I guess Augie's just been a special place to me that I am going to dearly miss, community-wise, and just the things that I've learned about myself and challenging me to become a better person on the field, but more importantly, off the field. So I could go on forever about why I'm here, but it will never change. So I'm very grateful for Augie.
Thank you. Thanks, Kelly. Thank you, Coach Barkus. Appreciate it. If you want to stick around, we may have questions pop up at the end, but I'm going to share my screen one more time here. Let's see. There it is. So this is Coach Jacobs, fourth season at Augustana. The volleyball program did have a terrific bounce back year last year, and we play in the toughest Division II conference in America. Jen was recently given a grant to attend a special Women Leaders in College Sports Conference. Really cool. Proud of her leadership for us as a department in the diversity, equity, and inclusion area, as our country's gone through so much learning, healing, and action to fight social injustice and racism. Our staff has been undergoing training and courageous conversations led by Jen. We have a lot of work to do. We're determined to do it, and I really appreciate Jen being there to help lead us through it. So I will turn it over to head coach Jen Jacobs.
Awesome. Thanks so much, you guys. I'm so excited to be here. Doing a lot of work with the team right now has been awesome as well. So just kind of a recap, team review. So I came to Augustana in March of 2017. And when I tell you, we literally went from near the top to the bottom, and now we're back up to the top again. We found finally some stability, and it just takes the time, over the years, getting some stability. So last year we were 20-10 overall. Anytime you can get 20 wins in our conference or in our region, it's huge. So that was nice to see. We had top returners this past year: setter Avery Thorson, middle blockers Izzy Summers, and Abby Benson, right side Peyton Rosendahl, and outside hitter Grace Haberland, who is here with us today. So you'll be hearing from her in a little bit. We did have some impact newcomers last year, or in fall of 2019. We had a phenomenal freshman class that stepped up to the game right away. Libero first year Erica Butte, outside hitter Maddie Getter had some huge moments and playing time for us. So loved having them and can't wait for their future as well. We just had huge upsets in the middle of the year last year, which was fun. I remember the moment we were losing like 4-set matches, and the team just decided they were done doing that. And it had nothing to do, at the end of the day, sometimes that has nothing to do with the coach really at all. It just is the team is saying like, yep, we're not doing that anymore, so we're gonna start winning. And we came and we had St. Cloud at home, and they were ranked number 8th at that time. We beat them. It just gives me chills thinking about it, and it's probably one of our team's favorite wins to this day. So beat number 8 St. Cloud, we went on a tear. We beat number 12 Wayne State. We beat number 15 ranked in the nation, SMSU, and then a deciding sweep at home against USF. So that was just a good kind of month of October, November that just really set our team kind of to that next level, and I think gave our team a very that confidence that they can go in and take whatever they want, do whatever they want. We made the conference tournament, ultimately then fell to Duluth in 4, but I think we really saw what this team is capable of in all of those matches. So we had a lot of momentum going into 2020, and we're really, really excited to get going. We really thought, I think this fall was going to be kind of our year. The good news is we returned basically every letter winner. And it's a little unfortunate, I'm not going to lie, with handling fall, because the Elite 8, the NCAA Elite 8 was supposed to be here at the Pentagon in our own hometown. And so our kind of under the scenes motto was like, get to the Pentagon. We knew if we could get to the Pentagon that we'd probably win it because we would be in our home place. But that's unfortunate. It is what it is. And, we just kind of got to roll with things. Recruiting wise, we only need 2 positions in 21. We have 1 setter committed. That is awesome. Out of Nebraska, so excited for her. We have 1 more offer on a local kid. We're waiting on her to say yes to us. And then we are like soccer. We're working on the 22s and 23s right now. We have 1 offer out on a 22 and about to set another one out. So we recruit very young and early. And we were not able to get on the road this past spring to recruit, which is our primary recruiting time. But we've done a little bit this fall, and hopefully this spring kind of get back to normal on that. But yeah, this fall we're just doing what we can, and the team, I got to give the team credit. They are resilient. They are hanging in there. We're being safe. We're wearing masks all the time. We're doing some individual training sessions right now on the court, and then we start our team practices in the end of September here. So they are definitely getting used to playing with masks. We kind of just have a running joke in our team that their lungs are going to be at full capacity or ready to go at the end of all this. But they're resilient. They remain positive, and They're doing everything they possibly can in the weight room. So whenever we can get back to playing some sort of normalcy, we're going to be ready to go. And I mean that with all sincerity. So without further ado, I would love to introduce you to Grace Haberland. So again, kind of like Barkus's deal, Grace was actually one of our first commits when I first got here. So she's got a special place in my heart, and she has been a significant piece to creating the team environment that we have now. So I will let Grace talk about what she does and what she's majoring in. And yeah, without further ado, Grace.
Thanks, Jen. My name's Grace Haberland. I'm a junior outside hitter on the volleyball team here. I'm an athletic training major, like Kelly, following in her footsteps. What brought me to Augie, it's just a special place. Like every school, when you're recruiting, can tell you that they're going to challenge you academically and on the court, which is true. Augie completely challenges me every day to become a better athlete and student. But it's something special, like the community here, whether it's the alumni, the coaches, the staff, like even my teammates, like it's a family. Everybody here is checking on you and making sure that you have what you need to succeed. And once you can go to every single one of them with anything I need, and they're there for me. It's just a great community, and I'm thankful every day that I made the decision to come here.
A side note, Grace is from Colorado, so it was a little bit far from home, although she was ready to move on from home, but it is not easy for her to get home on time. So I'm so thankful that Grace is here. And again, like I said, a leader in our program, and she has really helped create what we have as a team, which is we're protective of it. So thanks, yeah. Grace.
And I want to add too to that. Grace's roommate, Jenna Mitchell, is a soccer player, and soccer and volleyball have a great relationship because they're all extraordinary human beings, and they very academic and very focused on what they're doing. And so little shout out to Jenna Mitchell, right, Grace?
Absolutely. Love her. Great job.
Alexis, that's another one, but we'll talk about her later.
And Grace is coming to us from the volleyball locker room. So
here I am.
Yes, yeah. And then I also, for those of you who made the trip to Denver to watch softball win a national championship, Grace was also there. Yeah, she was there with us as well. Yeah. So thank you, Grace, Coach Jacobs. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to share another picture here. So there it is. So talk about a unique picture. These guys will remember their team picture from 2020 forever, masked up and suited up for a season that we look forward to having in some capacity in the spring. So this is Coach Oszewski's 8th season in charge of Viking football. And I'm going to go to the next slide. There we go. There he is. The only coach in Augustana history to take 2 teams to the NCAA playoffs. Last year, of course, won 9 games. We're unbeaten at home. So our head football coach, Jerry Olszewski.
Sorry, tried to unmute 3 times and every button was moving on me. Welcome everybody. You know, we as coaches and administrators have gotten used to this virtual environment. This has been the norm since March, and even today in a staff meeting we had, you know, you get little hiccups as you're going along. It's going to make for a great blooper reel when all things are said and done. Logan's been a part of those too, and I'll introduce him in a minute. But you know, the norm that it is, we are so blessed to be back on campus and just to see the faces of the other coaches, the other players, and then my own players. I don't know that you can really express what it really is when you get to be around them. Okay, this is good. This is great. It's better than not seeing each other at all. But when they're walking the hallways, this building comes alive in a way that you can only experience it when you see it and feel it. It's kind of like a stadium when it's empty. You get to play the game, but it's not the same experience. So welcome everybody to 2020. Yeah, that picture was great for our team picture. We did it for a reason, that when they're old men like me, they'll look back at it and say, man, what a story to tell their kids and their grandkids. 2019 was a good year for us. You know, really proud of the development of our program and our kids and how they've executed. Fast fact, we just graduated 2 classes that are second all-time and third all-time in school history in their 4 years with winning percentage. That's a phenomenal feat, and it raises the bar for the upcoming players to understand that that's who we are, and it's done through hard work and belief in each other. You always look back to those games that could have or should have, and one that just still nips my bottom is at Bemidji when we didn't play as well as we should have or could have, and we lost the game there in the last play of the game. But I think our players responded in an amazing way. We played well at Mankato prior to that and didn't come out with the win, and then went on a roll. Won some tough games, won some games of a larger spread. Had we won that Bemidji game, we're probably playing at home in the playoffs, and that's the goal, is to fill up KO in late November, early December. And this team is committed to it. Kind of like Jen said on the bounce of where it's at, and Brandon too, when they said it, this team is a pretty young team. Coming back from a 9-win season and a playoff appearance and a great experience for them. They're hungry, they're committed, they got a strong brotherhood amongst them, and it's just been a fun team to coach. I can say this, last year's team, and the best compliment I could give them is you couldn't coach them hard enough. You put a goal in front of them, and they would just blow right by it and continue to ask for more. You go to the sidelines, you didn't need to say much to them. There was an accountability factor. We called it being the rock. You throw the rock out in the water and the ripple happens. Well, they were the ripple, and now the seniors that left their mark on the players that are coming up through our program. And we're a pretty young team. We played a lot of sophomores and freshmen last year. Our upperclassmen, our seniors and juniors are amazingly talented, but they don't make up the largest part of our roster. So we had to rely on some really young kids. In fact, we pulled 5 red shirts last year. It's the most I've ever done in my career in 17 years. I've never had 5 kids lose the red shirt in their freshman year. Football is just not that way. But they were impact players and helped us win games. So that's been a real joy. The next phase is what we're doing right now, our fall. We're glad just to get together. We got to go out and do workouts last week, as of the 10th. That next Monday we started, and we were able to go out Tuesdays and Thursdays for an hour long, breaking up in segments to get some cardio training in. We're in that 8-hour cycle that Josh talked about, where we get 8 hours a week right now out of season. So they're lifting 3 days a week. We're having a run experience 2 days a week with a little bit of coaching time in between and a couple meetings. That changes for us Monday when we go in and start to be able to practice Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We're going to spread it out. We'll do about 41 days as we go through, which will be about 19 practices in that time frame, 19 to 20. And we'll take it slow. We'll build up on it and get through the acclimatization period and understand that our guys are not physically where they would normally be at this point. So we're going to be smart about that progression. But you also have to realize that everything changed in March. So our redshirt freshmen that were mostly scout players and holding cards last year didn't get spring ball and an opportunity to really learn and grow in our systems. They got sent home. So this is a huge time for their development, as well as our true freshmen that are on campus. And we're going to rely heavily on guys like Logan and our upperclassmen that are so experienced to help us lead that way too. So these guys can get as fast as they can in 41 days, learn as much as they can until we break, and then come back after winter break and start it all up again. Hopefully we get a couple contests, maybe 1 to 4 contests this spring in some capacity. We're working at it. Josh and the administrative staff are supportive of it, and we'll see what that looks like. There's a long ways away, but either way, that development is going to be really key. Unlike volleyball and soccer, football isn't a 2-year out commitment process. Certainly not at this level, maybe at the FBS, but even then, guys kind of string it along. Really happy. We got 5 commits right now, which in the season of recruiting that we're in right now is difficult. That a lot of states aren't playing high school football still. We didn't get the camps over the summertime to evaluate like we normally would. So to have 5 right now, there's going to be 6 this weekend. He's going to say yes. I'm looking forward to another one saying yes this weekend and one earlier, hopefully by Sunday. So we're banging them out one by one, making sure we're getting the right fit in the process. To be at Augustana, you got to be serious about your academics. You hear from these young ladies that they're in athletic training, and that major is a difficult one. You have to have major time balance in your life in order to be an athlete and also do athletic training. Logan is going to tell his story a little bit, which I'm going to let fly in a second here, but that's our plan right now. We'll be 3 days a week through October 30th, and then we'll be off for 2. They'll voluntarily lift, and then we'll have 1 week with Coach Chambers, our strength coach, to kind of send them off because we have a long window that we're away from them, which I hate. But That's a critical time in December and January for the lifting and the physical development that is necessary in football. We're just going to trust them that we do it right. Hopefully get some guys back on campus early and then kick it back in February again. So that's our plan. I look forward to any questions in chat as we go. But the Zoom meetings and everything else, we're masked up. We got shields for our helmets from eyeball to chin is shielded up. We look like Darth Vader out there, but that's what we need to do. As soon as they come off, they're going to put the gaiters up over their mouth when we meet. Social distance as much as we can. Thankfully, we got a 100-yard field with 10-yard end zone, so we can space out a little bit. And our guys have been diligent. For you alumni and fans to know what Augustana is doing, it's quite incredible what our administration, our athletic staff, and department have done to try to put our young athletes in a good position for success. We're following the plan, and it continues to run its course, and we'll be better. But we're in a good place, and we're fortunate with the people around us. So that's me and us. Logan Swanson is joining me today. Logan is a senior. That's one of those seniors that's deciding to come back. Logan will be student teaching this spring, and could have graduated this spring, has chosen to take on another degree, and I'm really excited about that, to have Logan come back. Logan's one of the best defensive tackles in the nation. He's going to be an All-American this year, and as good as a football player as he is, he had offers and opportunities coming out of high school to go to FCS Division I programs. He's from Mankato, Minnesota, played at Mankato East High School, was a star in wrestling, a state champ when he went through the wrestling deal, could have wrestled in college, but, chose football and didn't choose his hometown school at Mankato, Minnesota State Mankato. We were blessed enough to get him here, and the fit couldn't be better. He'll tell his story, but what an impact he's had, and he's one of the best in the nation. As good as a player as he is, he's even a better person. So, Logan Swanson.
Thanks, Coach. Well, shucks, how do I lead after that? Thank you very much for all of what you said. Yeah, I am from Mankato, Minnesota. I probably have one of the most diverse academic experiences as a student athlete. So I'm a secondary ed major, STEM composite major, which is one of Augustana's newest majors. It's math and physics, and it'll make me eligible to teach math or physics. But I started as a computer science major, so I have computer science minor. Due to getting an extended year, I also own my own business, a DJ business that I started here while at Augie through an Augustana alum. It's been awesome working with him the past 3 years to get that going. And with that, coming back another year, I added a minor in entrepreneurship. So now I get a little bit of education, get a little bit of math, get a little bit of physics, a little bit of computer science, a little bit of business. And I've met so many different faculty. And I also do theater. I used to be in choir. So I've just kind of encompassed everything that Augie has to offer. And that's honestly what makes Augustana so great, is that I had the ability to do all of that. I can tell you that if I would have chose to go to any large scale school, like for instance, my hometown, Mankato, I could not have done theater and football. That just wouldn't have been a possibility. And I told the coaches right from the get-go that that's something I wanted to do. And they fully supported it. I remember I had opening night for Adam's Family here on campus, and I had every coach was there to support me while I was Lucas, one of the leads in the show. So that was a blast. I chose Augustana because of just the community. And when I walked in on the first day, like I knew like this could be my home for the next 4, now going to be 6 years. I always joke with people that the 5th year is kind of the awkward year. You're just a super senior, but then now that I'm coming back, I'm a super duper senior. So I'm like big time now. Very glad for the football team, and it's all about the relationships that we build. And honestly, how close of a team we are is what's going to make us special going forward in the coming years. Even with COVID, we've been keeping in contact, whether that's playing video games or calling each other and just talking about what's new in life, the hardships, and also the things that are looking positive in life. And it's just nice that we have such a bond. And I only look forward to building that more with the freshmen that are here right now. And they have a unique experience this year. This is the first year that, you can't go to a football game every Saturday or go to a school dance or go to a concert. Like, we just don't have that ability. And so we have this Big Brother program that we started that I think is fantastic. And it's kind of the upperclassmen are kind of take a freshman under their wing, and they can come to us with any questions. Mine is Miles Taylor, and he's a great young man. He's from Minneapolis, and we went to Slim Chickens the other day, and, you know, we just ate chicken and talked about life. So it's great with the relationships. We started practice and workouts, and we've really been getting after it. I would be lying if I said my back was a little sore, but that's okay because we'll get after it again today on the field. It's nice to be back and to be working with everybody, and I just can't wait to get after it again this spring, and I'm excited for what the future holds next fall because, you know, the NSIC's got to be ready because we are right now. Thank you.
That's great. Logan, thank you. That awesome story. I love your diverse academic background. That'll come in handy one day, no question. And I think, you know, you see some things in the chat too, and I think all of you realize what we get to see every day, and certainly our coaches get to experience every day. Terrific group of student athletes, and you can imagine about, I don't know if I can't even remember the days kind of blend together, whether it was 4 weeks ago when we, you know, made the official announcement of moving fall sports competition. You can imagine their heartbreak, and they've just steal a phrase from the football program, they've been champions of adversity ever since, and it's going to continue, and they'll look back on these days someday and realize how they handled this experience really set them apart, because it's been wonderful. I think they have a deep appreciation for what they're able to do, as do the coaches and as does the administrative staff too. So one more screen to share. Let me just check the chat. Professor O'Hara, simple question. How do we get so fortunate to have such great student athletes and coaches? Well, you see it right there. This is a snapshot of it. So that's awesome. And I think many of us would turn around and say the same to you as professors as well. As you taught me to play cricket a few weeks ago. I'm going to share my screen here. We do want to make sure, I'm going to turn it over to Emily Punt to explain more about this.
Great. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody who hopped on today. Appreciate you taking your lunch hour to check in with us and see what we're all doing around here. And one of those is getting ready for the auction coming up in October, coincided with Viking Days and all that campus is planning to do Viking Days virtually this year. Wish we could have all gotten together in March. The auction was supposed to be March 27th, just a few short weeks after, I always use the term COVID hit, because it really hit us like a fast moving train. But we're looking forward to doing the auction online October 4th through the 9th. All of our great items that we had donated earlier this year will go up for bidding on our auction website, which is augie20.givesmart.com. And we hope that everybody can join us for that. And we are able to raise some money for our student athletes that are here on campus, and all of the extra expenses and things that will come with that. So please join us on there. We'll wrap up the week with a video on Facebook on Friday evening around 6:15. We added another fun thing this year as well to give our individual teams an opportunity to raise some money for themselves. We're calling it the Sports Showdown. So each athletic team will have a chance to raise some money as well. And we had a donor make a gift that will allow us to match some of the money that those teams raise, the top raising teams for second and third. So we appreciate that gift and look forward to that. If you have any questions about the auction, please reach out and we will be pushing stuff out on social media. The image that Josh showed is a postcard that will be going out to a number of people to make sure everybody knows about it, and we're really looking forward to it. So hop on and bid.
Yeah, and the auction is it's such an annual signature event for Augustana Athletics, and obviously we couldn't do it in March or can't do it in person, but we figured this is the next best thing with a goal of next spring being back to reality. So let's cross our fingers and and let's hope we're all celebrating the 2021 auction. But the auction also is so important to our bottom line. The financial support is huge to help these guys have the experience that they do. So I'll give you some of your lunch hour back. Really appreciate everybody joining us. I look forward to doing this again. Okay, we got one question. Okay, before we go, how many games will each sport possibly be allowed to play in the spring? That's part of our exploration. It's a good question. 3 weeks ago, it was 50% of the contests and you wouldn't be charged a year. The NCAA clarified that and said you could play many games. Obviously, our spring weather influences things. I think for some sports, it's a matter of how many can we play and still be physically ready for 2021. There's a lot of factors, so that don't have a great answer for it. That's part of our exploration in the coming weeks to figure out how many meaningful competitions we can have for our fall sports. So thank you, Paul, for that question. But again, thank you all so much for joining us. Get some of your lunch hour back. Appreciate our student athletes being here. Thank you. Thank you to the coaches, and thank you for your support of Augustana Athletics. Have a great day.